She thought she was invisible in the crowd, just another proud mother watching her son graduate. But when a USMC captain's eyes locked onto the tattoo on her arm, his face went pale, the parade halted, and the entire ceremony froze. Before we begin, tell us in the comments, which part of the country are you watching from? Story: 800-word narrative, plain paragraph. She stood among hundreds of families lining the edge of the parade deck, hands folded, heart racing with the quiet pride only a parent can feel, watching rows of Marines move in perfect unison beneath the open sky, and no one would have guessed that the woman in the simple blue top had a past heavy enough to bend steel. Her name was Claire Walker, and she had only come to watch her son graduate from boot camp. Nothing more, nothing less. She had arrived early, avoided attention, and kept her sleeves down out of habit, though the heat pressed hard against the South Carolina air. Her son, Private First Class Ethan Walker, marched with the others, eyes forward, jaw tight, transformed from the restless teenager she once knew into something sharper, stronger, forged by weeks of relentless training. Claire felt tears well as the drill cadence echoed, and when the formation halted, she finally pushed her sleeve back without thinking, wiping sweat from her arm. That was the moment everything changed. A USMC captain overseeing the ceremony, Captain Robert Hayes, a man known for discipline and iron composure, suddenly stiffened mid-step. His gaze locked onto Claire's arm, onto the tattoo she had stopped noticing years ago, a dagger wrapped in a coiled serpent, worn and faded, but unmistakable. The captain froze. Not figuratively. He stopped cold, boots planted, breath caught in his chest. For a split second, no one noticed. Then his raised hand failed to drop. The cadence died. Confusion rippled through the ranks as instructors barked commands that didn't come. Families murmured. Claire felt it before she understood it. The weight of being seen. Captain Hayes slowly turned toward her, eyes no longer sharp with authority, but wide with recognition and something dangerously close to disbelief. 20 years earlier, that tattoo had marked members of a classified joint task unit, one that officially never existed, one that had been erased after a mission went catastrophically wrong overseas. Claire hadn't planned on anyone remembering. She had been younger then, stronger, recruited quietly after proving herself in ways few civilians ever do. She had served, led, and survived while others didn't, and when it ended, she walked away, changed her name, and built a quiet life around raising her son. She never told Ethan the truth, only that she had worked for the government once. Captain Hayes broke protocol and stepped off the reviewing line, ignoring stunned glances from fellow officers. He approached Claire slowly, as if afraid she might vanish. "Ma'am," he said, voice tight, "where did you get that ink?" The crowd fell silent enough to hear the flags snap in the wind. Claire met his eyes and answered calmly, "I earned it." That was all it took. Hayes swallowed hard. He remembered her, not as Claire Walker, but as Raven, the operator who had pulled him from a burning vehicle under fire, who had taken command when their officer went down, who had ordered an extraction that saved half the unit. She was supposed to be dead. That was what the report said. Without another word, Hayes turned, signaled to the senior drill instructor, and halted the ceremony entirely. Gasps spread through the audience as he requested permission to address the formation. When granted, he faced the Marines and spoke words no one expected to hear on graduation day. He talked about sacrifice that goes unseen, about warriors whose names never make headlines, about courage that doesn't wear rank. Then he turned toward Ethan, standing rigid in formation, and asked his name. When Ethan answered, Hayes nodded slowly. "Your mother," he said evenly, "is the reason some of us are standing here today." Ethan's breath caught. He had never seen his mother this way, straight-backed, eyes steady, carrying something unspoken but immense. The twist cut deeper when Hayes announced that the unit patch Ethan would soon earn traced its lineage back to that same erased task force, a legacy quietly carried forward. Claire had unknowingly brought her son full circle, back to a brotherhood she once bled for. As the ceremony resumed, the crowd still buzzing, Ethan marched past her later, just once turning his head enough to meet her eyes. Pride, shock, and understanding collided in that single look. That night, as they sat together beneath quiet stars, Ethan finally asked the question she had long prepared for but never expected to answer. Claire didn't give him every detail, some ghosts stay buried, but she told him enough to explain the silence, the discipline, the strength he had inherited. She had only come to watch her son graduate, but she left knowing her past had found its voice at last, not as a secret, but as a legacy reborn. If this story moved you, inspired you, or kept you watching to the very end, subscribe to the channel and join our community, because the most powerful stories are the ones that were almost never told.